So now that you've made your Infinity free website web hosting account, it is time to put your files onto the web. So how we're going to do this is essentially we need to create a connection between our computer and the web hosting server that Infinity Free is providing to us. And we're going to have Dreamweaver upload our files to that web server. This is exactly like when you upload a file to Google or to Microsoft, any of those accounts. When you're putting something on the web to be in the cloud, that's putting it on a web server or a web hosting server. So what we're going to do is put that into the files. Now, there's two things that need to happen. The first thing is we need to tell Dreamweaver where to connect to, and that's going to be one of the most important parts. And then we also have files that need to be managed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Dreamweaver, and I am on my notes website. Very important. You need to have notes website up here. If you do not have this drop-down menu with foods and notes, you missed very, very, very important steps. Because if you haven't defined this notes website as a folder, Dreamweaver can't upload to the web. So when you go to manage sites, you can click the drop-down number here, or menu here, hit manage sites. If you need to, you may need to go to a new site, specify your notes website if you haven't already done this. If you've got these drop-down menus, you're good. You can skip this part. But if you haven't, you need to put notes website here, and you need to go navigate with this folder to your notes website folder, so you're inside of it, and then click select folder. You can see it's yelling at me because I already have one called notes website, but you would then hit save and be ready to go. You need to do the same thing for your foods website. So you should have a foods website and a notes website. Okay, now once you've done that, you can see that instead of it saying manage sites right here, it now says define servers, because I'm going to define a web server for it to connect to. So I'm going to hit define servers here, and you can see that site is already established, and now I'm going to define a server. I'm going to add a server here, and I'm going to go ahead and name it Infinity Free. And it is an FTP server, a file transfer protocol server, because I'm transferring files from my computer to its computer. Okay, next thing is we need address, username, password, and we're also going to need a root directory. What this means is, one, where am I sending the files to? What's my username and password for that site? And then where are the files stored? So to do this, you're going to use some information from Infinity Free. So you have a couple things. First, you have your username right here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that username. I'm going to go back to Dreamweaver, and I'm going to paste that in my username. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my password. So you're going to hit the show hide button for your password and copy and paste it in. You may have to type it manually, so you may have to pause the video here and do that. So now that I have it copied, I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here, and I'm going to save it. But I do need this FTP address. So to get the FTP address, we're going to go back to the site and locate that FTP address. The FTP address is this FTP host name right here. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go back to Dreamweaver, and I'm going to paste it as my FTP address. You're then going to test your account to make sure it works. It's going to do this little connection, and then it's going to say, you've connected to your web server successfully, if you did it correctly. If you didn't, please double check that you have no spaces or anything like that. You've got to make sure that there's like no tabs or spaces around your username, your password's correct, and you've got that FTP address in there. Okay, so far so good. The last piece that is very important is the way that this works is that you don't upload straight to a folder. If you go to the file manager here, which is where the files are stored, you will see that the first thing it says is do not upload files here. Okay, so I've done some research. I've obviously uploaded things to the web before as your teacher. So what this means is that they don't want you to upload it here. They want you to upload it into this folder or this root directory. So root directory just means where am I putting these? So I'm going to the web server of ftpupload.net. When I get there, I'm logging in, but I then want the computer to go into the htdocs folder, and I want it to upload here. Okay, so which is why it says files for your website should be uploaded here. So to get it to come into this folder, we have to say, when you come to the website, go into htdocs folder. This works a lot like pictures, right? It's going to go to http://ftpupload.net / go into a folder in your root directory htdocs. The second you type htdocs in there, it's going to go into the htdocs folder and then upload the files. So it's very important that you do this part. So you're telling the computer, when I upload, I want you to go to ftpupload.net /htdocs, log in as me, and upload my files. All right. At that point, you should be able to hit save, and you should be able to click save again. And now you have a new icons up here. And one of those icons is to connect to a remote server. So we're going to do that in the next video.